I just finished this fall topiary. Wayfair and Walmart has one basically like it without the container, just the 3 pumpkins, for about $300. I'm going to show you how to do it for about 80% less. And at the end, I'll share with you how much all the supplies cost. First, I'm going to take it apart and show you what it consists of. Okay, the top pumpkin. This is about a 6.5 inch pumpkin, plastic of course. The next one is about a 9 inch plastic pumpkin. And the last one is about a 12 inch pumpkin in the harlequin pattern. Then you'll see that I have a stick of styrofoam, and it's a very small piece because I didn't want to spend a lot, but I thought just a little bit would hold it. And my greenery is, okay, it's coming apart because it's 1.5 garlands. It's not the exact greenery I wanted, but the other one cost $34. This one is fine. Now, this center, this kind of serves as a table that your topiary sits on. We made this one earlier, my husband, actually he did it, with a hole in the middle that goes over the dowel. And this base is what I use for my Christmas topiaries, which I did a video of several years ago, and it's been very, very popular. Now, inside here, we have, this is the bucket that I put the plaster of Paris in. You can see it's hardened and stuck the dowel. It doesn't even have to be in the center as long as you get it centered when it comes up. And I paid $3.98 for this bucket, but you can use the bottom of a plastic milk jug or water jug. That will work just fine as long as you have something with a base that won't turn over. Of course, your top will hold it in place. And just set it in there so it's at least below the level, the rim of your pot. Now I'm going to share with you the supplies and equipment that I use, the tools. You may not need all of these, and depending upon how you design yours, you may need other ones, but these are the ones I use. Okay, a planter, and that's the one that's under here, the one that I use for my Christmas topiaries that I'm also using again, okay? A dowel. Okay, this is the top of the one here that we cut off with a coping saw after it was already hard in the plaster of Paris. Okay, plaster of Paris, and my container had enough to do 2 topiaries. A cover for the pot, and I showed you the black one that we've got that sits on the top of the pot here. Pumpkins, okay. 6.5 inch, I used a black one. For the 9 inch, I used an orange one. And for the 12 inch, I used a white one. And that's not exactly like the one in Walmart or Wayfair, but I got these because these were the sizes that were available that were on sale at the time. Okay, and styrofoam. This is half of that piece. I wanted it real cheap, so I just cut it in half and had just enough to stick some greenery in. Okay, either paint or contact paper, or I used self-adhesive wallpaper, black. That's what I used. I had bought paint and decided that was going to be too much trouble. I'm not an artist. It was going to take too long, so I went to the wallpaper. Oh, and I also used, this is what I use for the dots, is a sheet of self-adhesive. This is kind of slick, 12 by 12 inch orange that I got from Michael's. And with that, I used a craft circle cutter. This is not the exact one I used. I don't know where I put that one. Anyway, so this is the size that this one will cut. So you may want to, if you want to use your, say the middle pumpkin or the larger pumpkin with circles on it, then this one, oh,
deeply
If you decide you want to use the larger pumpkin, say with circles on it instead of the top one like I have here, these circles would probably be good for that, or the middle one. So let's see, and what else? Greenery, and I used about 1.5 pieces of 6-foot garland. These are the ones I chose because they were among the cheapest. The one I wanted was too high. And I used mat. I use this self-healing mat that I cut out fabric on when I'm sewing. They're right expensive, but if you've got one, they work well, but you don't have to have it. And let's see, scissors and or rotary cutter. I use the rotary cutter because this is what most people cut quilt squares with, that when you put it down, it's like a razor blade. It goes over it so easy and cuts it nice and neat. That, if you can use it, have it, is really good to have. Okay, and a metal ruler so that you don't cut off your ruler when you're doing that. One a little shorter than this really would work better, and I've got one somewhere, but I don't know where that is. Some tape, some waxed paper, and I'm gonna show you when I start decorating the pumpkins why that's important. You may need a black Sharpie or whatever color you need to fill in what doesn't turn out like you thought it was. Okay, and a paper cutter is very handy if you have it. If you don't, you can use scissors, but it does make things a lot neater. And patterns, and I included these in a 5-page PDF that's free, and I'll give you the link to that at the end of this video, that you can download to do your own topiary. Couple of circles, 4-inch and 5-inch. I'll show you how to use those. A pattern for the stripes on the orange one. If you can see, it's a little wider here and more narrow at the top and bottom, so it can't be just straight strips of paper. So that, and here's a couple I have already cut out, like those. Okay. The top row of diamonds. These are 1.5 inches by 3 inches. That worked well for this. Now, if you have a different size pumpkin, you may need to adjust these, but I used about 16 for this Harlequin pattern. That's the top row. And the middle row, I used about 2.5 by 4 inches diamonds. And you need about 16, so that would be 2 pages of that pattern. And then the bottom row is about 2.5 by 4 inches. I tried 2.25, not quite enough. 2.5 may be a little too much, so you may have to do some adjusting. But you need about 16 of those too, so I have to print 2 pages of that. And that's pretty much all you need. Now, I started with the easiest pumpkin to do. That way I could get used to doing some of the things with them and seeing how everything worked. So that was the black pumpkin that I decided to put the orange dots on. And these are the size dots that I got. This is the paper. It's a shiny orange paper from Michael's, and it's self-adhesive. So I'd have to take the back off of these, just peel it off, and put it wherever you want to. I suggest you don't start right at the top, but somewhere like this, and then just start randomly placing them as far apart as you want to. Try to keep it about equidistant, like that. But if you wanted to use the circles for a larger pumpkin, then this one might be, and this is the same concept as that one. Let's see. Just push it all the way in. I'm going to stand up to do this. All the way in, then press it down. Now, this one is in the bottom, so I have to pull that out. And there it is. So see, that might work on one of the larger pumpkins, the white one on the bottom, for instance, if you wanted to do something a little simpler. And that's all you do to the black one. Oh, drill a hole in the bottom of the black one. Just, you don't have to go all the way through, just enough to sit it a little ways onto the dowel at the top so it won't rock back and forth or anything. You can use a drill, you can use a scissors or some kind of punch, you can use a hot glue gun to try to melt it. I tried that on these and the plastic was too hard, so I got my husband to use the drill. And that's it for the top one. Now for the orange pumpkin, I decided to use the vertical black stripes. And I used this peel and stick wallpaper. It's not very thick. I got this from Amazon. In fact, and it was very cheap too. I think it might have gone up a little bit, but this is enough for 2 topiaries, and I paid about $6 for it. But there's a clickable link in the PDF that you can download at the end. Now, here's where the wax paper comes in. I strongly suggest that you cut off a small amount to work with, and make sure you can get like what, maybe 3, or if you want to do 4 on it, strips on it, that's fine. These, rather than cutting right on them, since they are curved, I went ahead and cut these out with the scissors. So, and I said, this is for a 9-inch pumpkin, cut about 14. And that worked about right. Depends, and I put them just in the grooves of the pumpkin, so it kind of depends on how many grooves your pumpkin has. Okay? Now, when I put this on here to cut it out, and I did this the first time, this stuff is really hard to find the edge to peel off. First of all, I can't see it that well. And secondly, I don't have any fingernails to get in there. I tried tweezers. It was just really difficult to pull off. And I wasted a lot of time doing that. So that's when I came up with the wax paper idea. And I cut a small piece, but cut it nice and straight so you can work on both ends when I get to the other one. And notice this. This one I already cut out, and there's a little piece of wax paper on the end. I peeled off cut a piece of wax paper big enough for you, the piece that you cut off. Find the edge and peel off that so you got the sticky side, then put the sticky side down on your piece of wax paper. I'll show you that when I get to the other one, but this one, I've already got a couple cut. So all I have to do is take hold of the wax paper, and that peels right off. A whole lot better than trying to do it the other way. And then I just find the top of a groove and pull it straight down, and then just press it on in the groove. That one's really simple to do. So you just repeat until you finish it. And that's all with the orange one. Okay, now we're ready to tackle the bear. And if you want my advice, choose a different pattern because it's tricky. I'm sure you noticed the little taped pieces of paper that I had on the pictures of this. You wouldn't believe how many different sizes and times I've taped around it to try to figure out how to do it. I also tried to draw it on at the beginning, and that was a mess, and I had to wipe all that off. But I have learned, and so you're going to benefit from my learning the wrong things. It's still going to be messy. Okay, now this pattern, the 4-inch and 5-inch squares, this depends on what size pumpkin you have. So I need the 5-inch, and I've cut it out. And what I'm going to do is to fold it over several times so that I get to the center. Okay, there's the center right there. okay? Then I'm gonna put this on the top of the pumpkin with the centers matching, okay? And put a little mark kind of all the way around, not trace the whole circle, but little marks at the edge of the circle. And what this does is gives you a starting point for putting on your top row. That way you'll have them all about even and they'll come down and fit about the same way. Okay? Now, I just discovered something so exciting. This is going to save you time too. But here's what I'm talking about. I've already done this. Okay, and this is where I use the paper cutter the most. I trimmed off the sheet for the top row. I cut off 2 rows already. Now, I cut a small piece of the wallpaper and a small piece of paper, wax paper. I taped the wax paper down so it wouldn't slip on me, and I was able to peel off the back of the wallpaper, and I put it down on the wax paper. Okay, if you'll cut the strips and then just maybe do 1 row at a time, I think that'll be simpler. Now I'm going to lay this on the edge of the wallpaper with the tip right to the edge, so the less I have to cut, the better. And I'm going to tape it on this side to the wax paper, because you can tape it over here to kind of hold it down to begin with, but once you start cutting it, you're going to cut off the tape and it won't be of any value to you. So now I take the metal ruler, okay, and put this along this edge, and the rotary cutter, you just squeeze it and put it along the edge of the ruler, okay? And there's that one. Now I've got to cut it. So if I got this on the edge, I don't have to cut that edge. Okay, cut off the corners. And you don't have to be precise, because I told you these don't fit that. You're going to have to do some adjustments to make them fit. Okay, that one. And now I cut them apart right in the center. Now, I've got 2 squares to start on the top. And you just pull off the pattern and throw it away. And here's where the wax paper comes in handy. It peels right off. See? Now, okay, here's a point. I'm going to show you from this side. Start here and put your point like right there and lay it straight down. And then press it into place. Now, because you have to mold it into place, and it doesn't, this gives some. Contact paper, I think, will give less, but paint will make it flawless if you are a good painter. But there will be little bumps, but did you see any bumps on that one? I don't think so. So, that would be the easiest way to do it. Now here's the second one I cut. Okay, I'm going to peel it off and put it on this top edge and touch the side of the first one. And keep it going straight down. Okay? And then press it. Okay. Now's your start. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go all the way around, but I'm going to show you how, to do the next row, how to start the next row. And this is where I discovered something exciting. When I put a piece of tape on it, the tape stuck to the backing and it peeled off. So this may work for you. You don't have to do the wax paper. But if it doesn't, the wax paper thing works good. So I was able to peel this one right off. Now, I start this one and touch the tip of the top. I can't see what I'm doing here. Top row, and then smooth it down and into the grooves. Okay, not completely smooth, but you can push out some of this. Okay, and then the second one, I don't think I have a second. Yeah, I do. But let me see if I can get it off. We'll see if this actually works now. Yep. Okay. Good. There we go. Tape works. You don't have to use the wax paper. Okay. And then you touch the tip of the next one and the side, the first one. Now see, this one doesn't completely fit. And this is, you're going to have that happen. Some of them are going to fit and some of them are not. Now, here's what you can do. I have an X-Acto knife, and I had a little piece of paper, and I just trimmed this off up to the tip from here to there with the X-Acto knife. You just make them fit, okay? And it may not look so bad, but I like it better tip to tip. And then the third row, you start with the tip of the bottom of the middle row and have it going straight down, and then the next one, the next bottom of tip of the middle row, have it going straight down with the sides touching all the way around. Now, my recommendation, do some swirls or some type of decoration that doesn't require exact dimensions. However, I do think this one turned out pretty, and I really want it to be a Harlequin pattern, so I'm going to do it again. And I've learned enough that I think I can do it a lot faster now. Okay, that is decorating all 3 pumpkins the way I did them. Now that you've got your pumpkins decorated, all you have to do is put together your topiary. And if you remember how I did the dowel with the plaster of Paris in the bottom, the top that had a hole in the top so it fit down to give you a surface, I put a piece of styrofoam over that. Then I put the largest pumpkin, that I already punched holes through all of these, the middle-sized pumpkin, and when I figured out how tall I needed to be, cut off the top of the dowel with a coping saw and put the little pumpkin on top. Now, I said I would tell you how much these cost. Okay, these from Walmart and Wayfair. One is $2.99, the other is $2.79 on sale, was $3.49. Look just like mine, except the colors are different. And here's what I paid for. Okay, the black pumpkin was $5.24. Now these were on sale. The orange pumpkin was $11.24. The white pumpkin was $18.74. And the closer you get to Halloween, the cheaper they are. The black self-adhesive wallpaper was $3.46 for, I divided that in half because it'll do at least 2 and probably some more. And that's a clickable link on here to Amazon if you want to use that. I used a 2.5 quart plastic container from Lowe's, that was $3.48. A 1/2 inch by 48 inch dowel was $2.30. 2-pound plaster of Paris, I had a 4-pound box, I split it, $5.49. The greenery was $17.98, and that's 9 foot of garland, 6 foot, and then half of another one. And the styrofoam is $2.48. Now, I already had the planter and the cover from the Christmas topiary, so I didn't add those into the total. So the total with the greenery would be $72.82 plus tax. a long ways from $300. And if you want to get any even cheaper, you can take away the greenery and have them sit right on the top of the pot. And if you do that, the greenery and the styrofoam is optional. That brings the cost down to $52.36 plus tax. And if you'd like a copy of the directions, this is a 5-page PDF showing you exactly what I did. And this is free. Just click on the button to download it. And I would love to see what you create. Try to do some different designs and show me what you've got, and I'd love to post them. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm Vicki Peel with Her Life Hacks. Thanks.